Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So today we're once again going to be covering another superhero drop. So if you've been following these last couple days, I've been, just redoing some doodle a day superheroes that I did about 11 years ago. It was just a little activity that I do to help get the creative juices flowing before I started my day job. So after 11 years, I've kind of refined out these characters and decided to finally redo them. So, um, kind of an Inktober kind of a feeling, but I'm not following their prompts. I'm kind of doing my own little thing. But again, I've always used these past years as an opportunity to once again just kind of get the creative juices flowing, and I found it to be super helpful. So, but again, yeah, I've done a couple of these heroes already, so tune into or check out those videos here in my channel, and then again, I'll be doing these for the next 100 days ish or so. I've looked at how many I did 10 years ago, and or 11 or whatever. It's close to 100 of these heroes, so I'll be doing this for quite a few days. So please stay tuned if you're interested. So today we'll actually be covering the first villain I doodled, and he was called the Breakdance Beast. So here was the original doodle. Once again, these are 2 to 3 minute little doodles, so please excuse the crudeness of these, but I don't know what I was doing with the graphic design here. I was like, it's like, as you read it, it's Break Beast Dance, and it's like, no, Breakdance Beast, it was his name. I don't know. Again, it was a lot of times, it was like I would get into the office usually before everybody else, so it was like one of those things. I had 2 to 3 minutes to just quickly sketch something out and ink it, and before everyone started coming in and needing, designs or meetings or all that kind of stuff. Because as I was looking at this again after 11 years, I was like, what is Yo One? Like, I don't, I guess that was my gangster. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking 11 years ago. I was kind of corny, but anywho, that's the doodles. So let's check out 11 years later. So there's a quick sneak peek. And so again, a lot of the main bases of this hero is pretty much the same. Um, I was just kind of exploring different poses and stuff for like a breakdancing, super athletic agility kind of character. So, but yeah, I was playing around with different angles of the arm and stuff like that. But and with this hero too, obviously we haven't gotten quite to it yet, but for this color, I was just like, I don't know why I chose like a magenta purple kind of a color, but that's kind of the color I liked. And it gave him kind of a villainous feel too as well. I felt the color felt fitting to kind of his character's persona and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I had fun drawing this one. This one was kind of pushed my abilities with like posing the human body and making it look somewhat real. Again, I looked at some rough references of actual break dancers and stuff like that, and it's incredible what these guys can do. They are, in my opinion, true Spider-Men. A lot of the stuff and watching their dances, I'm like, I don't know how you guys able to pour a lot of upper body strength and stuff like that. It's really quite incredible. So, but had a lot of fun drawing this one and testing my abilities to pose legs and feet and arms and all that kind of stuff. So, and again, kind of sticking with the hatching style that I did 3 to 4 years ago. But and then yeah, and obviously the color, kind of doing a purple magenta, I think just kind of helped establish kind of the villainous feel that he was going with. I think I did like a quick doodle of him like 8 or 9 years ago. This would have been, a couple of years after the original doodle, and I was playing around with different colors, and I think some of the colors I played with, I wasn't falling in love with them because I think I did like an orange and he just looked too werewolfish. It's like, just another werewolf. But yeah, with this one, I just kind of was like, yeah, let's do something purple, a little more of a villainous kind of a vibe. So then, yeah, for the pants, I just kind of did the quintessential dark colored sweat pant, sweat windbreaker, I think is what they called them, kind of style pants. So, but yeah, this hero, not a lot to his character design. He's pretty much about the same. I got rid of the Yo one. I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking with that, but yeah, and I just kind of built along the necklace. I still kept the necklace in there as an incorporation into his backstory and stuff, but let's go ahead and take a look at the final illustration here of Breakdance Beast. So, final illustration here. Let's get into his powers and abilities here. So, and in the powers and abilities, I'll explain why I kept the necklace kind of thing. But yeah, this is Breakdance Beast. So, backstory. Well, first and foremost, we'll get a little basic information. So, his real name is Jackson Lee Jamal, and he was a little over 6 feet tall and about 220 pounds. So, kind of a little above average, but pretty much a normal guy for an African American. So, but backstory: in the early 1980s, Jackson Lee Jamal and a group of friends taunted and harassed an elderly homeless woman on Halloween night as part of a cruel college prank. Unknown to them, the woman was a real witch, one who, with her dying breath, placed a terrible curse upon them. Each night thereafter, the boys transformed into dogs, left at the mercy of the streets. Most were eventually killed or captured, but Jackson's fate was different. He was found by an ancient mystic known as the mythical magician, another character, who could not break the curse, but offered Jackson an ancient relic that allowed him to control his transformations. So again, this is the necklace and bracelet that he wears. Years of discipline and training followed, and Jackson eventually learned to harness the curse, transforming not into a dog but into a werewolf. Hardened by years of abuse and hatred from his time as a stray, Jackson turned to a life of crime, ruling the streets with ruthless power as the Breakdance Beast. So again, he was never a top-of-the-line citizen. I mean, harassing a homeless woman is a mere college prank, and then, it didn't help that, a cruel curse doesn't help a person, as if you get transformed into a dog every night and then get, harassed or tortured or whatever, it kind of instills in a person's mind a bit of hatred and disdain. So going to a life of crime probably would be a logical next step, is the life he's lived. But so yeah, his powers and abilities. In his human form, Jackson appears as a normal African-American man in his 50s with no enhanced abilities. However, when he transforms, his physical capabilities increase dramatically. In his beast form, Jackson can lift between 900 and 1,100 pounds and run at speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. His reaction time and agility are also greatly heightened, allowing him to take multiple opponents at once, and it is even said that he can dodge bullets. Along with these enhancements, he possesses razor-sharp claws and teeth, which he uses with brutal precision in combat. One critical detail, Jackson wears 2 mystic relics, one around his neck and another around his wrist. If either of these are removed, he reverts to his original cursed form. So, again, the mystic or the mythical magician wasn't able to cure him of his curse, but he was able to provide him with these 2 relics, and that's how I kind of justified keeping the necklace and stuff as a necessary thing that allows him to control his transformations into human, into werewolf. And if these are removed, if these 2 relics are removed, he reverts back to just his human dog curse that he originally had. So, but his power stats, again, he is pretty strong. He's can lift 900 to over 1,000 pounds, so he's pretty tough. His durability is he's a little above average. He's not 100% bulletproof. He can he moves fast enough, and his heightened senses and stuff allow him to dodge single shot bullets, like from a Glock or something like that. He can't obviously dodge if you've got a submachine gun or something like that. He ain't going to be able to dodge that many rounds, but he's quick, and so adds a little bit to his durability, but if you shot him, he'd take a bullet just like any other guy. So stamina is a little bit enhanced in his werewolf form. Power projection, again, he doesn't have any. He's just a basic human, doesn't have any abilities to shoot lasers or out of his hands or eyes. And then intelligence, he's obviously a crime lord, so he's got some, street smarts and, tactical abilities, and he's obviously able to, fight and defend himself. So he does have some combat knowledge and training in, self-defenses, I wouldn't call him a kung fu master or anything like that, but he is able to hold his own. So, and then obviously speed, he can run at pretty decent speeds, so he is pretty quick. So, but anywho, that is the Breakdance Beast. So the first villain of the series here. So, but yeah, once again, stay tuned for tomorrow. Hopefully another hero drop. And yeah, if you haven't had a chance to check out the other ones, please check them out. And we'll hopefully catch you tomorrow.